What's up, everyone? Mark Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Man, you know what? I was driving to the gym today and I was just flipping through YouTube, finding stuff to listen to. And I saw an interview with Greg Doucette and I thought it was a great video. And I wanted to kind of go over this with you guys. The question is fitness unhealthy? We talk about fitness. We're not talking about just someone, let's say someone my age. I turned 44 tomorrow, by the way. Yeah, I know. Happy birthday to me. I turned 44 tomorrow. Not just someone trying to get in shape, maybe going a few walks a day, someone deeply involved in the fitness industry, the people we are following and emulating on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube. Are these people actually healthy? And one thing I love about Greg is he tends to think about things. He's an older guy, mid to late 40s like me, been through his days, competed, got a pro card. We have a lot in common. We're both really loud. And that's pretty much all we have in common. And we lift and we love lifting. We love fitness. We love this business. We love this industry. We're both entrepreneurs. So I always like to watch Greg's videos. I love him. If you don't follow Greg Doucette, you're living under a rock. He's one of the biggest fitness influencers in the world. And I always like to, I don't do diss tracks. I try not to unless someone disses me first. And I like to use what Greg Doucette says and opine on it and expand on it and share this knowledge with people so they can make the right decisions as they move forward. So I'm gonna pull up this video. It's an interview I did with this guy, Zach. And I basically pulled out the parts that I think, I think Greg kind of expanded on really well. So I'm going to pull that up here. We're going to go ahead and play this video and we'll go into some commentary. And of course, the chat's open. If you're watching after the fact, please comment down below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell. We have these Make America Healthy Again shirts. We were the first ones to come out with Make America Healthy Again stuff 3 years ago, to be exact, myself and Alan Roberts. Go to tigerfitness.com. Now the entire site is 10% off. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, Make America Healthy Again. M-A-H-A gets you 10% off the entire site. But anyway, let's go to this video. Let's play it and let's talk about it.
To define fitness, like what's happening in the fitness industry is fitness influencers don't promote fitness. They promote the appearance or the illusion of what being fit is.
That's absolutely true. So a lot of times you only see the good parts of people's lives, right? Like when I post a video with my wife, it's us in a happy situation. Maybe we're going on a hike. Maybe we're, doing, husband and wife stuff. But I'm not going to post a video, at least it would be bad taste, of like if my wife and I got in a fight, right? So think of it that way. Like on fitness, you are just seeing the good parts of it. You're seeing how they look. You're not seeing the mental battles. You're not seeing the body dysmorphia. You're not seeing potentially the bigorexia. You're not seeing the eating disorders. You're not seeing all those things that play. And you look at a lot of fitness celebrities have gone through severe mental trauma. They've come in, they've had drug addiction. They've had even the words offing themselves. I don't think I can use the S word here on YouTube, but you know what? It's, when you get into this world, it is extremely mentally unhealthy, these influencers. And that's why I try to do as much as possible, because I do the fitness thing. I do the YouTube thing. I do the whole social media thing. But at the end of the day, before and after this video, I'm just looking at spreadsheets and trying to do a job. So I really like being able to promote that side of it, which I think Greg does a great job as well.
And so the Liver King that you just described, he looked really fit. I mean, look at the abs and look at the muscles and how strong he looks, super fit, but yet he's not.
He was very fit. Unhealthy. Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy's name is Jack Tillander. Go ahead and subscribe. I'll subscribe to him right now. So the Liver King, not healthy, but his whole shtick and this whole contrived notion is that he's one for the, the people. He's all about nature. He's all about health. But in reality, the dude was just running a ton of gear. That's not healthy. And I saw it all along. If you look at the dude's skin, he has like 80-year-old skin. Like, I don't know. I'm not one to toot my own looks, my own horn, but you can tell I'm healthy by my skin and my eyes. And that's how you can tell things. But if you look at the Liver King, he's so not healthy. Just really unhealthy. And I saw that. I'm like, this is your picture of perfect health. A guy who doesn't wash his hair, whose skin looks like it's just been through like years of sun damage. Like, what?
T-Bum's not fit. He has no energy. He has brain fog. Sam Sulek's not fit.
Bumstead, I don't know about that. Like, I've sat down with Bumstead. We've done events together. He seems like he's pretty with it. I don't know if he has brain fog. I haven't seen his videos. Maybe he's saying it in his videos. When you're dieting for a show, you're going to be like that. So when you're in prep, you're not healthy. But I would argue C-Bum in the off season, very healthy guy. I mean, he has to be. He has that medical issue where if he goes too far off the reservation, man, it's very, very risky to his health. And I think that's the main reason he's retiring. I think he's a smart, healthy guy for the most part. Of course, competing at that level, you're not going to be healthy, no.
Fit. They're on these bulk and cut chocolate milk diets.
Yeah, Sam Sulek, I would argue, just looking at his appearance, again, don't know his blood work, don't know him personally. Sam Sulek, if I was going to pick healthy or unhealthy, I would guess that he is, for his age, biologically unhealthy. You know, they have those, I don't know if it's real, right? Haven't done enough research. They have biological age and your actual age. And they run all these tests. So, okay, I haven't done the test, right? I would imagine my age biologically is younger than my actual age based on my cognitive function, my ability to perform physically. I don't know though. I'm speaking out of my rear end. I'm not quite sure, but I would guess that, I'm decently metabolically healthy, that, I'm decently biological healthy. And so, but again, like Sam Sulek, I look at him, I look at his skin, I look at kind of his labored breathing. Yeah, that's not healthy. I agree with Greg there. Again, I'm not hating on the guy. I'm just saying that's my view. Sam Sulek's living his best life. He's a multimillionaire. No hate, all love, just being honest.
They're not fit people. And when I was an IFBB pro competing and looked enormous, I wasn't fit, but
He's right. So it's very hard to be healthy as an IFBB pro. It's just extremely hard to be healthy. And take away the drugs, right? The stress you put on the body, the bulking and the cutting and the gaining and the losing and all the stress, right? And even just the mental stress of knowing you have to look perfect on a certain day, like it's unhealthy. So I actually feel that when I did the New York Pro, that my placing, there's always a thing in bodybuilding. The worse you look, the worse you feel, the better you look. And I felt pretty damn good. And I was really shredded, really lean. But again, like I wasn't doing a lot of things that the guys who kicked my ass were doing. And it showed. So to be an excellent pro, you have to, what did Rich Piana say? Sacrifice to win. Is that him or Lane Norton? I forgot which one it was. Whatever it takes. He was Lane Norton, Natty, right? He said sacrifice to win. Rich Piana said whatever it takes.
Fit now.
How do we resolve this?
Well, I think there's some guys that promote fitness very well. For example, Will Tennyson and Jesse James. I think these guys are promoting fitness the right way.
Yeah, I agree with Greg. The more natural guys, they do a better job. They do a much better job of promoting health. But when you get to the more enhanced side, I can't argue for the health of an IFBB pro. I just can't. Now, there are guys who mitigate a lot of issues. If you watch Chase Irons, he's a guy who's like, how many grams of gear can I take a week? But, when he has issues, he stops, he collaborates, he listens. Thank you, Vanilla Ice. And he gets his blood work in check, whatever. So what the enhanced guys are doing are saying, okay, so with telmisartan and all these, ancillaries, I can make competing at an enhanced level way less unhealthy. But less unhealthy doesn't mean healthy. It just means less unhealthy.
Way being natural. As soon as you add the word on steroids and fitness, it doesn't go together.
He's right. I mean, there are like Greg's on TRT, I'm on TRT. Half my neighborhood's on TRT. Like I live in a neighborhood, a lot of, high functioning CEO, doctors, lawyers, they have to be at their best hormonally, mentally, physically. So a lot of guys who don't even compete or even lift seriously are on hormone replacement therapy just to make sure that they're optimal. Because when your test drops, it doesn't just affect you in the gym, it affects you in life. So I can argue that a clinical dose of testosterone to get you up to normal to high normal levels, that's actually healthier than having low testosterone. But super physiological doses to get you super physiological levels of testosterone, you can't argue for the health of that. You can argue you're making it less unhealthy, but you can't argue that it's healthy.
As soon as you're on steroids, steroids and obesity are on par. If you take me, a guy who's obese and a guy who's on steroids, and you give me their blood work, they're probably about equal. And so anyone who's on steroids,
Greg's correct. So obesity is the #1 comorbidity. What steroids do in super physiological doses, they mess up your lipid profiles, right? They mess up your cholesterol. They mess up your liver enzymes. And those are all things you'll see in obese people. So you're absolutely correct, Greg, that being on a super physiological dose of steroids is probably just as, if not more, unhealthy than being obese. Maybe not more, but equal to or greater than.
fat shaming somebody who's fat, you're doing just as bad to your body as a person who's fat. Like if you took 100 people who are overweight and 100 bodybuilders and you say, who's going to live longer? Probably the same.
He's right. He's right. I mean, being unhealthy is being unhealthy. And, you know, steroids, while steroids won't direct, like you can't just inject test and have an acute heart attack. What happens is over time, the side effects from having too much exogenous androgens, and also realize you're carrying more muscle. So you're still overweight. Now, being overweight with muscle versus being, people like, oh, BMI doesn't matter. You know, the natural guys who have more muscle, and they're right. So fat, there's no vasculature, right? There's nothing good going there. It's just extra weight for your body. It's stored energy that you're not going to use because you don't even get out of your car to get your Starbucks, right? Like you're sitting your fat ass in the drive-thru. So muscle actually has vasculature, which means that you're going to have better health if you're 200 pounds natural with muscle versus same height, right? Versus 200 pounds natural with fat. The guy who's 200 pounds with muscle is going to be healthier than the guy who's 200 pounds with fat. So muscle, and again, like all the data on longevity, when you lose muscle and strength, your morbidity rate goes up, which means your tendency to die sooner. So just heads up, like being muscular and strong is a great thing for longevity. Being super physiologically muscular through the use of enhancers like steroids, not healthy.
I think a lot of people who are on steroids would take issue with what you're saying right now. And
Because
I think,
they're hoping.
have you heard of this thing that happened very recently? This guy's name is Jackson Tippet. Have you heard
Oh,
of
he
him?
just passed away.
So Jackson Tippet, just a little story, kind of hit me hard. I know the guy, I've spoken to him many times, and I looked at my DMs and he was following me on Instagram. We've actually had, he said he was a voice, but you ever get those guys who Instagram DM you with voice messages? And he would voice message me. Now he was just asking for advice, just, you know, just talking, just wanting to share some things. Great guy, corresponded with him. When he died, it kind of hit close to home, right? I don't know. I want to hear this because I haven't followed why he died.
I think he had a heart attack while
Apparently he had a heart attack. There you go. I didn't know. I just saw the initial reports. Haven't done a video on it. Don't want to. But yeah, Jackson, good guy. Great guy based on my interactions with him. So really sad story.
in Turkey.
Yep.
I do know he was vacationing in Turkey. My wife actually brought it up. She's like, hey, didn't you know this Jackson guy? I'm like, yeah. It's like, yeah, he just passed away. I'm like, yeah, I know. So it's hard to watch. You know, you see a lot of these fit guys passing away, right?
So I'm just going to read you. It's from People Magazine.
People Magazine. Okay.
On October 30th, Tippet celebrated his 30th birthday with
30. Think about it, guys. Having a heart attack at 30. Now, I'm not going to bring up what in the environment, if anything, is causing these increases in it. Apparently, people are dying of heart attacks more frequently. But obviously, you know, his lifestyle was a component of that. His lifestyle was a leading, you know, a causation of it.
With an Instagram post listing 30 life lessons I've learned now that I'm 30. His captions, as his caption stated, the 21st item on the list now reads as a foreboding, growing old beats the alternative, dying young. Tippet wrote in his caption almost 2 weeks ago. Lesson number 25, he wrote, furthered the sentiment. The best is yet to come. Over the past few years, Tippet opened up about his addiction to steroids during interviews and podcast appearances. During a 2022 episode, the Good Humans podcast, the bodybuilder described his withdrawals as hell. I lost a girlfriend off it. I nearly lost my family off of it. I nearly went to jail as I got caught with my own personal use of steroids, he revealed during the candid discussion. In his, a few weeks prior in October, saying living long is better than dying young or something. And then within weeks dies of a heart attack from his steroid use.
Well, and see, the thing is, when you're young like that, you don't realize this could happen to you. Everyone.
So there's I can't give any details, but as I was actually on a huge roundtable that'll air on YouTube in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks. I'll announce it when it's about to come out. And there was a very famous young steroid user on there, and we had this very conversation that when you're young, you don't respect death as much as when you're older, right? Like you just don't respect death. And we had this conversation, and I was like, you're saying that now, my brother in Christ, you're saying that now. But when you have kids and you're 40, you're going to look at it way differently. So as Chris Gethin says, knowledge without mileage is bullshit. So you might think you know it all, but as you learn more, as you mature, you realize that what you know really isn't that much. And your perspective is way different because you're young and you don't respect and fear. I don't fear death. I respect it. I respect death because while I look forward to perhaps a beautiful eternity in heaven, I really love my time here on earth. I love sleeping with my wife, not the weird stuff. I love literally having someone next to me in bed. I love being with my wife. I love the fact that my daughter's coming home to visit from college tonight because my birthday's tomorrow and Thanksgiving's next week. She has a week off of school. I love watching my son wrestle. He has a match tonight. Wish him luck. It's his first match of the season. I respect death. I love coaching my 11-year-old's football team. I love coaching at Legacy. I love everything. And by the way, at the end of this video, stay tuned. I want to show you an extra special video for one of my athletes. So I really want to share that with you. So please stick around to the end, guys. It's worth it.
One thinks it'll happen to someone else. Like Togi, he doesn't think he's going to die. It is what it is, but no one thinks it'll happen to them. Then you get older, like Jason, who I've had a number of conversations with him. You're in your 30s, and now you're starting to wake up. Maybe not even till your 40s, like myself. I didn't even start till I was older than that. But eventually, you'll look back and reflect and think, why did I do those things? And you don't realize that the longer you live, the better. Like guy like Togi's like, oh, if I live to be 50, that.
Togi's view on life is that he wants to live it to its fullest. And that's awesome. That's great. But you also want to live it to its longest.
That's great. I'm 49. Living to 50 is not great. And I talk.
Yeah, he's right. 50 is not enough. Like I'm literally pushing on 50's door. Like I am knocking on that door. And I want to live to see my kids get married, have kids. I already told my kids, when you have kids, if you don't live near us, I am literally going to live near you during football season so I could coach my grandchildren, right? That's my goal. And I can't do that if I die at 50.
Talked to my grandmother before she passed away. She's 94. I'm like, oh, you lived such a great life. If you pass, she's like, I feel 25 in my heart. I might look old and wrinkly, but I feel 25 and I want to live just as much as you do. There's no like going away that you want to live. And so when people start doing these things, abusing steroids and so on in their 20s, they have no idea what they're doing to their future.
The fitness industry is very weird. It's very, very weird.
Yeah, it pretends to promote fitness, but it doesn't. It promotes the illusion of being fit, which is basically to be attractive. The fitness industry promotes attraction, as in men getting girls, girls getting men. It's all about trying to connect with a partner.
Yeah, so fitness has equated attraction to the opposite sex with health. And that's not always the case. Although there is an argument that being lean and having lower body fat is healthy. However, the extremes are never healthy, like anorexia, bigorexia, overuse of steroids, et cetera, et cetera.
People would sacrifice 10 years of their life to take the magic pill to make them lose the weight, to get the body and so on. People don't care about health. When people go to the gym and work out, you survey people honestly and say, are you in the gym lifting weights and doing your cardio to live a long and healthy life or to look good?
He's right. I mean, look at Ozempic, and I'm not going to get into that Ozempic debate. We really don't know the long term. Well, it's been used on diabetics forever. Yeah, but in much smaller dosages, right? Like they're doing these huge doses, gastroparesis, and there was just a study done in mice that I saw today that shows that it causes atrophy of the heart muscle. Again, like people don't know this, but yet everybody's on a GLP-1 and nobody even knows what it does. They just know it'll make them look better. Isn't that crazy?
And it's
when I will add, they can lose the weight by natural means. They just simply eat less. It's an anorectic. It makes you eat less and it slows digestion.
Look good almost every single time. That is the truth, but people won't admit it.
Yes, that is the stark reality. It's looking good, impressing other people with your physique, whatever that may be. But
everybody, we need to invest some money and buy Zach a mic stand.
There are a decent chunk of people who make a decent living, who feel good in their lives, and they go, "Oh, I'm really far behind on my fitness. I can hardly jog, 200 feet without being out of breath." I don't think those people are actually being properly motivated by some of these, bodybuilders. It's weird that bodybuilding, I really do think though, like if you're like in the weeds of bodybuilding, like you actually really like it and care about it, and I think there's actually a part of it that can be healthy a little bit, maybe.
Well, I was a bodybuilder when I was younger, and I would argue that it wasn't ever healthy. The first time I did a bodybuilding show, I'm in grade 12. I'm like the athlete of the year every year. I'm loving
Wow, Greg's been competing since like the friggin' 90s.
Sports. I became a physical education teacher.
I mean, that is the 90s because I graduated high school in grade 12 in 98. He's 5 years older than me. That was like, yeah, my brother just turned 50. That was like class of 93, Greg. Wow, that's wild.
Teacher, love fitness. I did everything. I was doing triathlon since I'm 13 years of age. I'm on the swim team. I'm doing everything. I died for my first bodybuilding competition. And in phys ed class, I'm playing a 2-minute shift for basketball. And I got my hand up. Can I sit out? Teacher's like, what do you mean sit out? You've never, ever wanted this. I'm playing on the basketball team. I'm on the swim team. I need to rest. I need to sit down. Can somebody take my turn? What's going on? I had absolutely no freaking energy.
Yeah, there's no such thing as being healthy when you're dieting for a show. Greg's absolutely correct. You're not. Like, I managed to be able to coach and do everything. And if you saw my training leading up to New York Pro, I was doing sleds and everything with Seamus. Like, we were training together. So, I mean, it was, I felt okay, but I get what he's saying. I mean, maybe I'm just mentally strong and I'm older and Greg was younger. It was hard, but yeah, you're not 100%. I feel much better now. I can easily run a mile, probably get under 7:30. I'm not saying I'll beat like a 6:30, but I can run pretty fast. I can run a 40. I want to get under a 5.0. I'm lucky if I get under a 5.5. I haven't done it in a while. I'm afraid I'll tear a hamstring, but I get it.
I went from 167 pounds down to 140, whatever pounds, to do a bodybuilding show. And for 6 months, I did 2 shows back to back, no energy. And I felt like garbage, brain fog, all the symptoms. Nothing was good in my life. I couldn't focus. I couldn't study. All for what? To bodybuild? Was that healthy? I was the healthiest kid in the school by a long shot. But as soon as I started bodybuilding, then I didn't feel healthy. And then when
I get capped on all the time for saying that natural bodybuilding is unhealthy. I'm not saying it's more unhealthy than unnatural, but look, you're tanking your hormones. You're getting down to, sub-livable body fat levels that you can't maintain. There's no way any bodybuilding is healthy.
When I gained the weight after I do my show, I put on 20 pounds of fat in a month after. Because why? Because I'm bulking. I don't know any better. And then all of a sudden I look in the mirror and I'm like, what is all this fat I see? I don't see my abs. And then all the comments were, wow, you have abs. Let me see your abs. Let me see your abs. What happened to your abs? You look fat now. And
I've seen so many people. So I always tell people, if you have to gain 20 pounds after a show, competing's not for you. I've seen people go from contest ready to obese in 2 weeks, and I'm not even playing.
I'm like, wait a minute. I wasn't even as fat as when I started my diet, but now I have body dysmorphia and I feel like garbage. So when I explain all these videos, I'm talking from personal experience, saying what happened, and people just think I'm just yapping. I'm like, I'm trying to save you.
Yep. And anytime somebody like Greg or myself says it, they call us hypocrites, when in reality, we're just trying to save people from making the mistakes that we made. I think that's the thing. So, all right, let's read some comments. We had to put up Liver King's BS for an entire year because Derek doesn't check his email inbox. All right, so I'm going to visit Lebanon, Ohio for work Sunday through Wednesday. The hours of Tiger Fitness Gym, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Next week is the end of the week is, but we're going to be in all day Friday. Thursday, we will give our employees off, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're in for Black Friday. But you're going to be gone anyway. Sunday, so go Monday, Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday, work hours if you can make it. All right, brother? I've been following for 13 years. Thanks for your content, motivation, and honest opinion from day one. Help me get healthier, stronger, and a better man and father. Bobby, all prayers and love to you, my man. Hi, Tiger Fitness from Coach Greg. Love Coach Greg. Greg's a good guy. I love Greg Doucette, man. I know him personally, and I really think he's a really good guy. This looks like a long comment. The only thing unhealthy is people using the word fitness and bodybuilding interchangeably. Bodybuilding can be unhealthy and shouldn't be called fitness, and no, growing some muscle isn't bodybuilding. You're absolutely correct. We're talking on the competition side. So before we get going, I want to show you guys something, a special treat. This is one of my athletes, and it's an amazing story. It's something that I want to share with everybody here. About a few months ago, I think it was like July. So Presley came to us with a ACL injury, tore it during a 7v7 in the off season. And so he came to us, and they told him he'd have to miss his entire senior year. And so we're like, well, we give it our best shot. I said, there's no way that's true. I'm like, it's an ACL. We can fix it. We got this. Long story short, he came back 7 weeks early, and he's able to play over half the season because they're going deep into playoffs. We have a game tomorrow night in the playoffs, third round. His name is Presley Cozart. He plays at Page High School. I can't watch this without crying, but this is one of the greatest stories, one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of. And I want to share it with you guys because, man, there's so much crazy shit in the world that I just want to share with you something positive and amazing. So I invite you to enjoy this story with me. All right, guys?
So how did your relationship with Presley start?
It started when he tore his ACL, obviously. But that's how
It's my partner at Legacy of Carbon, Bryce Beal, narrating, by the way.
kind of started. We knew of each other before that, but reality is it kind of happened on bad circumstances.
So did you think after that happened, he would ever touch the field again this year?
At first, knowing what I know, I was like, all right, we might get him back from state, to be honest. And then as we started going along, it was more realistic that we get him back 7 weeks or 7 to 8 weeks earlier, which is, in its right mind, absolutely crazy because you're pushing the parameters of a lot of different things in a physiological sense.
How would you say Presley's work ethic helped him get back so quickly?
I think it's one of the defining moments for Presley himself. Coming back from an injury is, especially one that is catastrophic in nature, is really, in all honesty, it's one of the more brutal things you can do. Not only just work ethic wise, but mentality. I mean, it's Friday night. For the last 3 weeks he's played. The 10 weeks before that, he sat on the sideline and watched you guys play. Probably during one of the most pivotal times of his, I'll say young adulthood life. I've been through it. Others have been through it. It's detrimental, and I think his work ethic, along with the mental side of things and the cognitive, being able to hold it together, it was impressive. There were a lot of things that I had questions on personally, just because of what I do, that his work ethic, passion, drive to get back was, it was unbelievable. It's not a normal it's not a normal sight to see, to be honest with you guys. It's probably 1 in 100 that I'll ever be able to do that again. Probably even more than that, probably 1 in 10,000. I've never seen anything like it.
Let's start wrestling! So proud of him. Go, baby. I'm going for it. I'm on your recovery. And a touchdown, man. Let's go. Out of board.
Hey, talk to me. How's that feel? Amazing. It's so good. 5 months out of recovery. I just scored my first touchdown of the year. It feels amazing.
Talk to me like you used to. You don't.
All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Really kind of puts things in perspective, right? Focus on your community. Again, we just had a big election. A lot of people happy, a lot of people mad. Look, man, at the end of the day, focus on your community, help the people around you, love everybody, pray for everybody, be a good friend, be a good brother, be a good sister, be a good mother, be a good father, be a good person. All right, guys, I appreciate everybody watching here. Again, at the beginning, I told you these shirts, the Make America Healthy Again shirts, available at tigerfitness.com. 10% off the entire site using code MAHA, M-A-H-A. Gets you 10% off the entire site, guys. I'll see you next time. God bless. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you tomorrow on my birthday. Take care. Love y'all. The Outright Bar is back in stock. So here's what we did. As you know, the bar is the best when it's the freshest. So what we did, we ran out of all inventory, and we are bringing them back. 3 to 4 bar flavors at a time, week after week after week after week. If you go to the Outright Bar page on tigerfitness.com, it has the dates listed to when your favorite Outright Bar is back in stock. So go to tigerfitness.com now and stock up on your favorite Outright Bar.